love you, Benji.
Capretta. Come here, let me talk to you. Just slow down for a second. You walking off fast. Like, let me say something. She know that she bad. She got her own bag. She know that she bad. She got her own bag. I need that. I need that. She know that she bad. She got her own bag. She know that she bad. She got her own bag. I need that. I need that.
Do I gotta press the button?
Yeah, you got the button down?
Nope. Yo. Oh. Look, you said you could hear me, man.
They need to hear it.
Right. Like I was saying, Surviving Newark, we here today. We got some, we got a wonderful person here that's running for Congress. I'm gonna let her get into the details. I have my co-host right here. She's going to tell you who she is. Let's get into it.
So I'm Crystal. I go by Chrissy Cole. I'm a roller coaster technician. I'm a mom, and I'm just a goal seeker. And you?
I am Deborah Salters. I am Newark born and bred. People are my passion. Transforming lives is what I do.
Right.
I'm an educator. I'm a mentor. I'm an advocate, activist, and I love my people. So that's what I'm doing.
Good. And I'm Emily Akins. I'm her best friend and campaign manager, if you say. And I'm just here being supportive. I also live an activist. As well, and thank you for inviting us onto the show. And I really want to talk about this roller coaster. What?
Yes, I fix roller coasters.
Oh, okay.
And rides, yeah.
What's
so
up?
yes, I like that. That's different.
By heart, that's what I do.
I went to school to become an aeronautic mechanic first.
Okay.
And then I switched because there's a lot of politics.
Yes,
in
it
it.
is.
So then I became a fiber optic tech through the city. So shout out to Newark.
Shout out to Newark.
And then I transitioned to become a roller coaster tech.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
My kind of girl. I fix cars and all that kind of stuff.
I fix cars
Let's
too,
go.
girl.
You fix cars? I didn't even know
yes.
that.
Let's get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Listen, and I'm a mother, and I my son be right there. When I was getting all those certifications, he was right there with me.
And that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's good.
So, Deborah Salters.
Yes, sir.
Who are you? What do you do? And to the people out there that haven't heard of you, don't know of your work.
Okay.
What is it? What are we trying to accomplish?
Okay, so what I do is a lot of everything. So
Okay.
I'll give you an example. So I don't know if anyone's been paying attention, but a lot of the townhouses that are affordable housing, if you've seen them around, a lot of them have been boarded up. Like you have some that are open, people living in them. The other ones are not. Then we have the brick buildings that we had, like Little Bricks and all of these places that were the true affordable housing. And people say affordable housing like it's something bad, like you're a drag of society, or you're like, when they think about that, I don't know where their thoughts are.
Right, because who wouldn't want to pay less money
Right.
when it comes to their rent?
So affordable means that you can actually
Afford to live in your
thank you,
apartment.
pay your rent, buy groceries, pay your bills. If you have children, take care of your children. God forbid you need medication. That's what affordable means. It means that you are able to live without being burdened and meet all of your needs, right?
Right.
And so Newark used to be a community.
Absolutely.
Used to.
Right, used to, long time ago. And what has happened is, and I'm going to say it because I don't play games, it's the black faces in high places that have sold us out, right? Which has put us in a position to where we're struggling just to breathe. And what I mean by that is 80% of Newarkers are renters, 80%. 60% of that 80% are rent burdened, meaning they're struggling. They're working 3 jobs. They don't get to see their kids. You know, it's crazy. Or they're living with people that they don't even like because they need a roof over their heads, right? So what's happening in our community And I'm saying this because we have our council, city council, we have our mayor, and what they're doing is they're promoting photo ops and stories about how, we have affordable housing and we're doing all this great work.
But yet it's still not affordable.
Thank you. Because affordable means the area median income. The average Newarker is making between $16,000 and $36,000 a year. Mm-hmm. What they are building, you have to make at least $80,000 to live in them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, they are creating the homelessness, and I'll tell you why. Because when these ordinances that come out on the agenda for the council meetings, right, they have to be voted on. Right. So when these projects are out here, they can say no. They're saying yes.
To everything.
To everything. And most of that is because the deals have already been done. Now, I want you to look at these council meetings. If you go back to the council meetings, you'll see where they have said no. About 20 minutes or so later, you see them on their phones. And I want to change my vote because they received a text. Or somebody came to them and said, you have to vote yes. Mm-hmm. And they changed their vote. Mm. Forget what the people need, right? And so I brought up the affordable housing and this piece. I'm going to bring it together right now. Mm. Because HUD is the largest landowner, right? That's our federal housing, right, for the low to moderate income. Mm. And what that means is 30% or less of your revenue or your money is being spent on your housing. We are way beyond that, like I said. We're above 60% where people are struggling to live. Absolutely. So the ones who are in place have the power to change it. But they don't because they're thinking about their next political goal, their next seat. Well, if I don't go along with this, then I'm not going to be able to rub elbows with the mayor later. I'm not going to be able to go to his parties. I'm not going to be invited to this or that. When we, the people, are struggling to live.
And they know the struggle that we are living.
Right, but they don't care, that's the part, right? They care more for their shoes than they do for the people in the city of Newark, right? And so when I brought up the HUD land and the housing, so I went to them, like I go to the meetings, I went to the Housing Authority meeting, the last three. So a couple months ago, about a month or so ago, I went to one and I asked, I said, so where is, because federal government gives money every year to help, to benefit, to fix, to, for people to live. Yeah. Absolutely. So 23 million was given in 24? In 23 to rehab and to beautify and to make all of the affordable housing complexes livable. Right. Well, they're still struggling with these issues that they've had with the elevators, with the cleanliness, with the maintenance people, with just a plethora of things. So I asked the question, what happened to that 23 million? All I'm getting is looks, but there's a new director. So he took notes on everything, came back last meeting, and at the same time I asked, and I said, so what is happening to our public land and public housing? Is it being sold? Because that's the thing. So so what's happening is they're giving out vouchers. Oh, I'll give you a voucher to just move. Like, you take that and go somewhere else. You don't have to live in this area. But what they're not telling people is a lot of these landlords, slumlords, they're not taking these vouchers, right? So now you have people out here with vouchers that they can't use.
And you have it only for a certain amount of time that you have to find an apartment, right?
Yes, ma'am. Talk about it. And in a lot of cases, they're not helping you, and then they have to inspect it before you can move in it. So now it's a long process, right? If they do accept it. So with all of this going on, but you're boarding them up. So are you boarding them up? So I went to the Housing Authority meeting and I asked them, I said, so I'm hearing that this land and these townhouses have been sold. That's why you're boarding them up and you're not fixing them up and putting people back in them. Right. And I said it, and I said, so if it is sold, who is it sold to? If it is not sold, why is it not gutted, rehabbed, and our people are put back in there? Because that's our only true low to moderate income housing. Right. No one had answers for me, but he was taking notes. I saw him somewhere else, the director. I saw him somewhere else. I gave him some information. Boom, boom, boom. Go back to the last meeting. No, before that, so then the following week, After I had these questions and the dialogue, I see that he put out a bid to see who can rehab these facilities and put the people back in them.
Right.
So, and that is to answer what I do. What I do is make change for our people to be able to live and thrive where we should.
Right.
Right? We should not be sitting on a curb in another town when this is the town that our grandparents and our parents, their blood, sweat, and tears were here when no one else was here.
Right.
Right? And so that's what I do. I fight for those who don't know how to fight for themselves. I fight for those who are afraid to fight for themselves. I fight for those who don't have a voice. I received a call one night. A guy was looking through this lady's window.
You
Yes.
guys.
And the cops didn't want to come at first. I mean, literally standing in her window with his hands in his pants, just smoking, looking out window. She's there with her baby. Okay, and he won't move, and she's like, well, what is he doing? She calls the cops. They don't want to come. So they come, and then they make a big deal about, oh, well, we're not going to make the report. We're just not going to do it. And she calls me. I said, no, they need to file that report. That's their job. They don't want to do it, blah, blah, blah. They're going back and forth. I had her put me on speaker. I said, take their names down and things like that. So they wound up leaving. Said the guy didn't do anything wrong. Wound up leaving, and I made her call again. I said, you call them again right now, and you tell them to get some officers out there. So she called, and they came, and when I tell you they were talking to her like she was a piece of trash, I got in my car. I said, I am on my way. I got there, and I'm looking, and so I finally park, and it's a cop car on the street. It's one in the driveway. They're laughing and talking with each other when I walk up. I get out, I go in, and so we handled it. She got the report done. But these are the things.
It took that fight for it to instead of them just doing their job.
Exactly. And so this is why they're telling lies in the city of Newark saying crime is down. Crime is not down. It's underreported, and it's not reported. I have multiple incidents, and Emily is witness to, where we've been in the car from going somewhere, doing some work or whatever, and these things are happening, and we're calling, oh, well, you could come in and file. I'm not coming anywhere. They're right here. Come handle this situation.
Right.
But they don't want to do the work. And that is the problem. And so that's what's happening in our city. And I brought these incidents up, or these things. So when you say, who am I? What do I do? When I say people are my passion and transforming lives is what I do, it's what I do.
Right.
You know, I don't talk about it. I am about it. And by the time I talk about it, I've already put the work in. And I'm knocking somebody upside their head. You getting paid for this? Why is this not being done? Right. And I get people have fear because if you were not built for this, everybody's not built for this fight, right? So I get it, but and I just can't stand by and see something. That's like me standing by watching somebody punch you in your face, and I know like it actually happened.
That actually happened. I mean, we were on another mission. And we ran into a woman who got hit over the head with what kind of bottle was it?
E&J bottle. And you know it's shattered.
Yes.
That's a thick bottle.
It's shattered by her boyfriend, who she went to the cops that were on the street asking for help.
They said they couldn't do anything.
Let me tell you. Let me set this up for you. It's amazing. We're driving, right, down Broad Street. And it's the corner right before, I can't think of the name.
Where Wells Fargo is.
Well, yeah, right there. That little street right there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So we're driving. Now, mind you, I see this cop on the corner of Broad and Market as I'm coming down the street. She's on her phone, which is what a lot of them are doing. TikToking, whatever. And I'm like, I look. Now, mind you, I see this woman walking. I see her. There's a guy out there, but he's not like side by side with her. So I see the cop, and I'm like, all right, I felt something strange, so I go, but I come back around because we're trying to, get stuff done, and you can't pull over right there, whatever. Come back down the street, pull over. I'm waiting for Emily, who had to go in, and in fact, she was getting her paperwork certified.
I never did.
And never did. So
because of this situation?
To run
because
for
of that
school board,
situation,
because
that was more important. Her safety was more
important. So what
important.
happens is she's going to go in. Now, mind you, I'm in the car when I first see it happening. And I'm like, what is happening? He's like shoving her, he's pushing. She's like, no, just leave me alone, let me go, whatever. And then the next thing we know, like I get out and next, cause I'm looking like, what is happening? Next thing I know, he smashed. The bottle is shattered. It's you know that's a thick E&J. And she's holding her head. And so now I get out. I'm going over there. A guy comes down the street, so I let him handle it. He's like, yo, what are you doing? So he's like, no, you fight somebody that can handle you, you know? And no, you're not going to do this. He shoved through, whatever. And now this lady comes down the street. Oh, that's enough. I said, ma'am, go about your business, because he was just beating on this woman, bust her head with this bottle. And, you know, lead this guy. So the guy walked away because he didn't want that lady to have something to say. So I stepped up and was like, man, you know, I just pulled in, and M came running like, no, because, well, Emily came in after she came out for handling the paperwork. The woman is now walking down the street that way after we break it up on the corner. So she goes down there because now he's looking for something to get. Now, mind you, I called the cop. I'm doing like this to the cop. I can see the cop on the corner. Yo, come here. Like, they're down there. I called 911. I said, listen, this is the situation. I need somebody here now. I'm telling you right now, get here. And I said, it's a cop. There's 2 cops down there on the corner right now, and they're doing nothing. I'm flagging them. Well, ma'am, no, I don't want to hear it. Tell them to get down here right now.
Mind you, there was a lot of traffic, by the way.
Yes.
And people were stuck in traffic. It was standstill. Nobody got out the car to help.
Nothing.
They all see what's going on. And I was walking with the girl because the guy was following her, and he was looking for something to hit her with. And I had to get in between them and tell her to get back because he wanted to hit her again. He was looking for something to cut her with. And then all of a sudden, that's when the cops come.
Yeah. So I walk up as, you know, she's walking behind. So this is... We're in these streets.
I wasn't trying to be. I just want to say I wasn't trying to.
Yeah,
She had things to
I
do.
wasn't trying to be in these streets with you.
I leave this lady because something wasn't right, and it was just so suspect, the whole situation. And by the time the cops came, like he wasn't trying to be restrained or anything, and then they had to eventually throw him onto the car and onto the ground because it was just done. But the fact of the matter is, when we spoke to the lady, she said she told the other cop on the street
because he snatched her phone out of her hand
that he was following her. That's her ex-boyfriend. They're not together. She doesn't want him around. What did the cop do?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Here's the thing. He snatches her phone. So she's telling the cop, he just snatched my phone. She's like, oh, well, just give it back to her. Like, give it back to her. So he gave the phone back, but then you didn't stop him from following her. He followed her in the clothing store to where the people in the store, that's right before I got involved. So what are you doing, right? And that's the whole issue. So when we're out here, it's not like we're trying to be heroes, but I come from, listen, my mother was one of the first blacks to own her own home in the city of Newark, right? And she took, before there was a woman's shelter, before there was a homeless center, my mother cooked, literally, I saw her literally get the shirt off of her back. Listen.
That's where the passion comes from.
And I cannot stand idly by because this woman gave, right? A lot of these city officials here now were taken care of by my mother. Like listen. So for me, and I have to say this, and I know Emily tells me all the time, because people think, oh, you this, no. Because when we look at the greats out here, they weren't trying to do this. They just wanted to be good and make sure everybody was good. So nobody's trying to, because this is not a come up. Because a lot of people are like, oh, because I'm already up. You understand me? A come up is when you are stepping on your people.
That's sad that to help your community is being looked at as a profit or come up.
Right.
I do want to say one thing, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yes, ma'am.
I do admire you because a few years ago, I actually had my own incident where I think I was like right out of high school. And I was going through something, so I was actually living in a shelter. I don't know if you ever heard of the Covenant House.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I was there. And I had went early morning to go, get on the bus so that I can go to the beach with my family. And while I was at the bus stop, I noticed a man who was just going through different personalities. You could tell he was switching very fast. So something in my heart just said, you know what, just go to the next bus stop. Because it was just me and him. And I was like, something just telling me. As soon as I turned my back to walk to the next bus stop, he grabbed me and threw me in front of a bus. Woo. Now let me tell you where it was. It was right in front of City Hall where Green Street was. And I called the police. I even seen one. I said, help me. Help me. He just threw me in front of the bus. No one came.
Yep.
The bus driver still let the guy on. I said, you want to let him on the bus? I'm bleeding and everything. I was bleeding like profusely from my knee and my elbow and stuff. And I was like, you're still going to let him on the bus? And they still let him on the bus. And to this day, I always think about, what about if he got on that bus, got off, and did it to somebody else?
Absolutely.
And continues to get away with it. And it is sad. So it made me, when you were speaking, it kind of, triggered that memory in me, because I didn't have nobody to turn to. When I thought I was turning to the police.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to be helped. And when they rejected me, it was like, now I start putting it in my head that these are not the people I can go to.
No. And growing up, as a kid, I remember they'd be like, oh, yeah, if you get in trouble, a police officer is who you go to.
Right.
Back then, yes, because it was a community.
Right, but not anymore.
They lived there, you met them, you knew them, they were walking the beat and things like this. And I don't know if you've noticed, most people haven't even noticed, it used to be to protect and serve was written on the cars. That was taken off several years ago.
Wow.
I didn't notice that.
I
didn't know.
I didn't notice
Now it's TIPS, whatever that mess is. I can't remember what the acronym is for.
Yeah.
It used to be to protect and serve. That is not their job anymore.
That's not their motive.
And
now
so
it's basically like, if I'm not stationed in that area, I can't stop, I can't pull over. I'm headed to another thing.
Right, because when we got hit from the back. And we called the cops, and some cops did show up, but they said this was not their area.
Oh,
and it's like, but it's Newark. What you mean it's not your area? Well, there's another car coming.
Yeah.
right.
Like, what?
Yeah,
But
I remember one time getting in an accident, and I flagged down some police officers, and they was like, we going somewhere else right now. It should be some same thing happened.
You said something earlier when you were, doing your introduction. You said something about, and I can't repeat verbatim what you said, where you said, like the black faces. Like,
In high places.
In high places.
Yeah, I say that a lot.
The reason why I say that is because it seems like we encourage our people to go into the law enforcement, into these health careers, and then it's like once they get put in it, it's like they don't do exactly what we thought they were going to do. We thought they were going to be a community. They actually make it worse. I know people who became police officers and became so comfortable with, protecting the street guys, more so protecting the actual victims.
Absolutely.
And that's a problem as well. I've seen, some people, encourage becoming a cop, but then I see the people in the hood, frowning upon the young kids that want to become a cop. Oh, now you a snitch. But I'm like, now when it's time for us to be protected.
There you go. We don't have it.
The people that's coming from West Bubblefuck is the ones policing our areas.
That's
the
right.
ones that's quick to shoot. The ones
That's
that don't
right.
know our culture.
That's
the ones
right.
that just look at the media and see, oh, black boy, black, 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 black. So when as a situation where he got to deal with a black kid, it's like,
Absolutely.
let me grab this, let me do this, let me
Yeah.
tase, let me do this. So yeah, you got some that's frowning upon it. You got some that's saying, yeah, we need to get in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a problem when we get in there. Some don't, do what they got to do.
Right.
Why do you feel like we get put in these positions and we kind of just we don't accomplish what we're supposed to for our community?
So honestly, it takes courage.
Right.
Either you're gonna get on your knees or you're gonna stand up.
Where did you get your courage from?
My
Besides
father,
your mom, you said your mom.
my father and my mom. I'm telling you, my dad, and I'm getting emotional because he just passed away.
I'm sorry for your
But
loss.
he was my hero.
Mm.
And he built in me a fortitude that, and I didn't even realize it. To me, it was like torture. Oh my God, what are you doing to me? But you couldn't say that because it's like I knew he would put me in difficult situations, and I would just have to. I would swim. Ain't no sinking. And I know I use the word "ain't" on purpose. Ain't no sinking. It's you gonna swim because there's nothing else, right? And so that self-esteem and that fortitude, but with my mother was my shero and my dad was my hero.
Aww.
So that's it, and it wasn't easy because I've always been different in the sense that I'm not gonna go along with the crowd. Like I don't want to laugh at your joke; it's not funny.
Right.
You know how you see people
The
laugh and
pain,
you be
like
like,
when they pain
ha,
and
ha,
stuff.
ha, ha.
Yeah.
And at first you do it and it's like I'm not doing that. That's not funny. So I'm not trying to be in that clique. Like, I'm not gonna be a follower, just following y'all. But it's not easy because it takes courage to stand alone.
And you're playing politics. How do you maintain that courage in this world? Because politics is a very tricky game.
Absolutely. And so here's the thing, and that's the problem. I call it politics, right? So for me, I'm a public servant, and that's what these people who get in these seats forget, right? And some of them don't really care because they're trying to make a move for their political prowess.
It's personal for that.
It's personal.
Is it that they don't care, or is it that they can't? Because they
No. What she said was accurate. They don't care.
Right.
It's all about their come up. It's about them. It's I put on a face and I play politics.
I give
so
you
I
the
play
rhetoric.
like I care
So I can
about
get the
what
seat.
you want and what your needs are. But it's all about getting the vote so I can get my foot in the door. Now I'm here, and now, I'll be here for 2 years, and then I'm going to run for president.
Right.
And you haven't even solved our issues yet, but yet
Right.
you're running for president.
Right.
And that's what it is. People
Yeah.
play.
And so when you ask me, where do I get the courage from? And I'm going to tell you, not only from what was built from my parents, because even my family gave me flack. Like, what are you doing this for? Oh, my God, just get a job. And when something is a calling, you can't run from it but for so long. Because it's going to reach out and trip you, grab you by the ankle, and you're like, okay, fine, I bust my head. Now, okay, I'm here, kind of thing. So, and I'm a woman of faith, right? I am a woman of faith.
Amen.
Jesus is my best friend, and I'm not talking about what y'all talking about out there. People who like little baby Jesus, this baby, that. No, I'm talking about the anointed one.
Absolutely.
Because there's no way that I could be in this world, like you just said, in this world, and do what I do, because people are treacherous. Like, there are people, I run into people on the street, and they'll jump out their cars. Oh, my God, you're Deborah Salters. Thank you for what you do, but you need security. Like, the way you talk to those people, oh, my God.
That's true.
That was another question I was going to ask you. Do you ever get to that point where you're like, hey, like, maybe we should just stop because it's not being heard? It's like, how what he's promoting, like,
a
he's
lot of
promoting
people been telling me, like, yo, you going against the grain, and the people at the top of the triangle, they don't like
what
this.
makes him be at the bottom? What makes all of us be at the bottom? Is that we didn't start.
Hold on 1 second. I wanted to say, Richard Boyd has said, I got shot and the police treated me like it was my fault.
Oh,
Just to go back on with.
Yes,
because with that woman and the peeping Tom, when I was on the phone and I heard, and he literally calls her a liar.
Oh, my
You're
goodness.
lying.
Screamed
You're
at her.
lying. Yeah, I can't do like he did, but
Screamed
he
at
was
her.
screaming at her. You're lying. Like, wait, hold up, time out. Wait, who? I swear to you, it must have been God, because we could not get there fast enough, because that would have been a whole different outcome had she been there. God saved that man that night.
Because what I did was, I said, put me on speakerphone. And I started talking to those officers. Oh, well, my I don't want to talk to you. My lieutenant is coming. I said, no problem. Get their badge numbers. And I said, but your job is to, because they were treating her like he just said, they were treating her like she was the criminal.
Wow.
So what I said was, you need to do your job, file the report. That's your job, right? Oh, well, my lieutenant's coming, no problem. But please know that you're not doing your job. That report's going to get written tonight. If you don't do it, your lieutenant's going to do it. So the lieutenant was saying something. And I said, and what is your name, sir? Lieutenant so-and-so. And I said, oh, so is it because she's black? And they're Hispanic, and you're Hispanic, that you won't go over there because he's peeking? And he was like,
wait, because they went to the neighbors, and they were Hispanic, right?
And
wait a minute, it was like night and day. Like, he was yelling at her, you're a liar. And then next thing you know, oh, hi, how are you? It was like Dr. Jekyll, Miss Hyde. He was so nice and friendly.
But he went because I said what I said to him. Oh, and they came, and mind you, let me tell you this part. The way they went into her apartment, like with flashlights, like this. And by this time, her husband was there, and he had said, just turn on the light.
Right.
Like, what is all this dramatic mess that you're doing? And for what? To intimidate? I mean, they were literally intimidating this woman with a newborn baby, about 3 months old, and treated her as if she was the criminal. But whatever I was saying to him, I told him, I said, I'm calling the councilman right now. I'm going to make sure he knows this, and this. And you, sir, need to, he was like, oh, now all of a sudden he want to go across the hall. You should have done this in the first place. And this report better be written when I get there.
Yeah.
And they were, listen.
By the
they
time we
treat
got
you-
there, they couldn't wait to leave.
So do you think it's just like a couple bad apples, or do you think we have a problem within the police force in North New Jersey
we
right
have
now?
a problem with the force, the whole
In
force.
in general, the whole
whole
New Jersey,
The whole
or
force, because
just New York,
here's the
or
thing.
just Newark?
If you know that there's a problem, speak up and say something.
Right.
Don't be a part of it. If you're
Right.
going to be silent, then you're a part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like this guy just said, he was treated like crap, but he's the victim, and you all treat him like he's the problem.
And they do.
So what do you think we can do? Do you think that the police need to be retrained? Do you?
So,
Honestly, I'm gonna let you take it, but
You
my
got a new
opinion,
training center right now in Bergen.
Listen.
defund
Yeah.
the police. I don't think we need these police officers because they're not here to protect and serve us. They
never
serve a
thought about
different
it like
master. They're on the mayor's payroll, for crying out loud. They serve him and protect him. And here it's the
Facts.
truth. How much is his security detail?
about $25 million a year.
Wow.
We can't get no help, and he's got 25 million, bro. 25 million for what?
Yeah.
For what?
A year. And
So I don't want to say that, in my opinion, I don't want to say that we don't need them, but I want to say that we need to redirect them.
Yeah.
Or we need to have a voice and let the people speak
So-
and say what's wrong and what needs to be
Yeah.
fixed, and somebody need to take accountability and get on it.
Yeah, and let me say this. We have some great cops.
Right.
But here's the thing. The great ones who speak up, they get punished for doing their jobs.
yeah.
I went to file a report. This has happened several times. I went to file a report. Nobody wanted to file it. The officer that filed it got in trouble because he filed the report. Because he did his job. Another time, another officer, because they did their job. Why did you file the report? Because she had video proof. That's why. So the great cops that we have that speak out get punished. They get sent to West Bumble. They get put on the worst shifts. They move them over. So now what we have is, and it was to the point where we had some great veteran cops that decided to, I'm just get out of here so I don't have to deal with this nonsense. It's just too much. But we needed them to train these newbies because now you have a 1-year training a 3-weeker. What? What are you training? And I speak to all of them. You understand? But it's a travesty. And this guy Frage that we have, he needs to be somewhere
So
else.
I have a question.
Yes.
What, in your opinion, needs to be changed about Newark police?
Okay.
Like, just give me, just be raw.
Flat out.
What needs to change with our law enforcement?
Okay. So what they need is
Say it.
Yeah, say it. We keeping it real.
I'm trying
here.
to figure out how to say this, but they really need they're not being trained properly. They're not being taught what needs to be done because we don't have the veterans training them anymore. You understand? So they're out here literally on their phones.
So what are they? Yeah, that's what I was about
Like-
to say. What exactly are they doing wrong that you can see? Like, okay, he's on the phone. He's not. We're trying to tell him something just happened, and he's not listening. He's not reacting.
Or do you think
What are the
that-
problems? Like, what are you? What are you seeing?
Literally, okay. So where they're not supposed to be making left and right turns on these Broad and Market,
Oh, yeah.
this street, that street, the cops are standing there
Right
watching
there.
it.
I've seen it.
They don't even get out of their cars anymore. Literally, whoop whoop. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to do
Well, some of
anything.
them are asleep too.
I was gonna say that. Sleep in the car, like knocked out. I took a picture of this one guy because it was crazy. He had just given my neighbor 7 tickets, 2 which weren't even in our district, because he was sitting there, and the guy made a left turn or whatever onto Broad, and he pulls him over, all aggressive, just hits him with 7 tickets, and then after he does all of that, he goes in the car and falls asleep, knocked out.
And you see them because they have their shades on, and the way that it's like they have their head down, and if you stare long enough, you know they're asleep because they're not moving. It's that deep, breathing that they do, or they got their head back and they're like knocked out.
But here, and so I'm telling you, these are the things. And so when we report this or we say these things, it falls on deaf ears, right? They act as if they don't hear us say. Like I'm literally, and several times I've been standing on the corner, and I see the cops sitting in the car, back and forth with each other, blah blah blah. The guys running the red light. I've seen a cop sit right at the light. He's right there by VIM. The guy runs right, very red light, just goes straight, didn't just turn red. Cop just sits there. And so what is happening is, okay, well, if it's becoming lawless, right? Completely. And what's happening, and please understand when I say this, I'm going to be very transparent, and I will make it plain for everyone to understand. With our migrant situation that's going on right now, a lot of them, because she's been hit twice, they have no licenses, no registrations, they're running red lights, they're doing whatever they want to do, and when the police officers show up, who are Hispanic, Latino, and I'm saying that because if I say one to somebody, I'm not that, I'm this, I'm this. So I say all of them because I don't know which one somebody's going to identify with. Absolutely. Don't call me Boricua, I'm Dominican.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's insane. So the officers show up literally, and I'm telling you, oh, well, you know, and we're waiting. Then we've got the son of the mother, and she's laughing, and, you know, like it's something funny. And then when the cop finally shows up, well, you know, I mean, I said, I'm not going anywhere. You're here, do your job. File the report while I'm standing here. Oh, she's going to get a bunch of tickets. Okay, I'm going to stand here and watch. This woman received no tickets. No. Her vehicle wasn't registered, which means it was supposed to be towed, which is what was going to happen. Don't you know he let her drive away? This is like the third time this has happened. Drive away, no tickets. Lied and said that it was, in one of them, called the handler in one of the incidents. It wasn't his car when you finally, and the police report was supposed to be done in a certain amount of days. It took him a month. I called. Oh, well, no, the supervisor's working on it. And when we got the report, he lied in the report saying it was the guy's car. These was his lights. It was, and this is what is happening. You and I both know, as a black man, I've been in the situation where I was profiled. You're handcuffed, thrown up against the car. You know, we'll figure it out later, but we think we're taking you to jail. It's not happening. And that's a problem. It's like the Wild West out here, but those of us who are doing it the right way are being treated as criminals.
Do you think it's coming from our own people or from, like, the law enforcement period, like the ones that come from different cities? Because, like I said earlier, I think that we get comfortable. Like, complacency plays a part when it comes to the people that come from our community going into law enforcement.
Yes.
They get so comfortable, like, well, I'm here, I know how to move, I know how to maneuver. That's the mentality you had when you was living in the streets.
Absolutely.
Why are you still having that when you're here to serve and protect?
Right. Because they're not here to protect and serve anymore.
Who do you think that is mainly coming from with our community itself?
I believe it's coming from leadership. It's the failed leadership. And I'm saying that because when you have a mayor, and this is what I mean by black faces in high places, you have a mayor who is showing indifference to those. If you're not on the team, then we don't really care. Like, and what I'm saying is accurate. When you look at things with the police force, we have had police show up, bully people, arrest people because so-and-so said they said something to the mayor. What? Our police force is not here to serve the mayor. You're here to serve. We pay their salaries. We pay their paychecks. So it's the allegiance to failed leadership, which, and I get it, this is your job, but at which point are you going to stand up? Are you going to do your job? Or are you going to be a puppet on a string? Like, what is happening, right? And like I said in the beginning, it takes courage. And everyone doesn't have it.
Do you ever lose that courage? Because, like I said, you're in politics, which is a game of tricks. Like, we both agree.
Yeah.
Do you ever do you have kids?
I do.
Do you ever be like, hey, I'm giving more attention to, the community that doesn't even care versus my own family? Do you ever, those thoughts ever run into your mind? Like,
Yes,
do you ever feel
listen.
like, I need to stop? Like, at this point, if my community is not going to support the cause that I'm doing, do I continue?
And I'm going to give you a perfect example of that. So, because at first I wasn't I didn't buy in completely to it. I felt the call. I'm fighting it. Like, I'm out, because I would be out early in the morning doing whatever, and I'm talking to God, like, why am I doing this? Like, it makes no sense. I can't sleep. It's on my mind, these people. And my family is giving me grief. Like, what are you doing? Why don't you just this and that? And I'm like, I'm trying to just live my life. It's not happening, right? So there was a time. I'll give you an example. Like, in 22, I petitioned to become mayor, right? Now, it took me 2.5 years to build this team. We talked about it. We knew what we were going to do. People are in place. Like, day one, hit the ground running. Time came for petitions to come out. Now I get the petitions. I'm telling folk. People start disappearing. Now they scared, because what happens is you either get incentivized, meaning I'm going to give you this. If you slide away, I'll give you this. Or I'm going to terrorize you. Yo, you doing this, then I'm going to, your family work here. And so it happened. But I continued. I only needed 1,624 petitions. I garnered over 2,000 by myself because I didn't quit. And because the community saw that, when I was in a building, say like the Spires, and I'm getting signatures, and it's people that's like, no, you sign her petition because this is our, we know she out here, we see, and that's how it happened. And this is why I tell people when they're like, oh, you need money. No, we are the currency. You understand? So I was doing this, and I didn't quit. The first time I handed in petitions, I gave them a stack of $18.95. The next morning, they threw out 565. This is not registered. And I knew they were lying because I registered over 300 by myself. So I know you lying. No problem. I expected them to do that. So I took another 100 and something the next day. Bow, right? Threw out half of those. Came back the next day. And then fast forward. Now, mind you, the so-called activists and advocates who said that they were going to, because they were crying, oh, who are we going to get to run? Oh, my God, we need somebody. So 2 months before it was time to get the petitions, I was like, all right, y'all can stop crying, because we spoke every day. We're talking about what's happening in the community, how these guys are failing us. They're not doing this and that. All right, well, then that's the case. Are y'all going to support? Yeah, we're going to support you. We got you. So, and I waited. So the week before we were due to be certified, they're like, oh, you only need 248 more signatures. I went to the activists, the ones who said they were going to support, spun my petition. So you go, oh, well, I'm going to just stand and wait and see what's happening. Mind you, one of them, who's a district leader, has over 800 registered voters right there. Can do, and told me I'm not going to take, and there were other people that threw their hat in the ring who did nothing for the community. I'm not supporting them. They live here. They never even came to any of the meetings that we had. They didn't do this and that. Come down to it, they done took a stack of their petitions, a stack of their petitions, and so I said, okay. That, like you said, do I ever get to the point where it's like, why do I do this and they don't support me? And I literally was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm like, what am I doing, right? But what happened was, while I was petitioning, because the people watch the council meetings, they see us in the streets, they see me supporting everybody. They're looking around like, where's so-and-so? Where's so? And I'm like, oh, well, no, they're not with me. To what? And it kept happening. They're calling them by name. So now the public is seeing, and some of them had already told me about some of these people. And I'm like, and so it exposed people for who they were.
Wasn't we talking about that last time? About like when you try to do better, it exposes like the true people who really support you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that happened, right? And so and I gave you that live example to answer your question. Now here's one even better. All of that happened. Okay, no problem. So now we're moving forward. everybody's talking about how terrible the administration. Now, mind you, but here's the thing. People knew that I was running. So what happened was they're telling people, because there was several of us that were attempting to get on the ballot, and good people for the council seats, and the mayor and them were throwing them out and took people to court. No, get them off the ballot, all of that kind of stuff. So what happened was, we're like, okay, so just write us in. But instead of doing that, the very same people who were supposed to support, just write your own name, write your own name, write your own name. And that's what people did. When you pull up the numbers for that election, one for this, one for this, one for this, one, right? 98% of us, and these are the actual numbers, 98% of Newarkers did not vote this administration back in. 2% voted. 13,000 votes put that mayor back in that seat out of 97,000 registered voters. He got back in office with 13,000 votes.
Wow. I didn't know that.
98% of us did not vote. Same thing with the school board. 97% of us did not vote. Do you understand that with my one finger, I could poke you in your eye, I could jab you in your throat, I could do some damage with one finger, but if I got a fist, I can break your face, right? I can break wood. I can break concrete. So if the 98% of us stand up and vote, no matter how much they cheat, they can't win. They only win because you've been sprayed with the mist. Yeah, nobody could beat them. Oh, everybody wants them. Until the cold water, like myself, comes and throw the cold water in your face and give you the numbers. It's like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I thought, because that's how they get you. And so when we say wake up, that's literally what I mean. Let me throw some cold water in your face because you're clearly walking around in the fog. And this happened. And so with all of that happening, and where I'm going with this now, and I'll give you this other example, and this was major. So they're back in office. The same folk complaining, oh, we need to vote them out of office. We need to vote them out of office. Or recall. And so I never said the word recall. But while they were talking about it, I was putting together the paperwork, she and I, right? And what a recall is, for those who don't know, is if you build committees for whoever you want, you can actually recall these people out their seats. If you get enough signatures, you can rip them right out of that seat. So what she and I...
got a question.
Yes.
So do you think corruption amongst the... how can I put this? Do you think it's like inside corruption that would stop someone from getting in there that actually want to create change?
Absolutely. It happens all the time. School boards.
So do you think they could be like... what's the word I'm looking for? Like... what is it called when they purposely trying to like
sabotage?
Yeah, I don't know the word. If I had it in the back of my head, I can't even think of it. Like when they purposely try to count you out, like they do things to purposely. Do you think that's could possibly happen with your campaign currently?
With this one,
do you think somebody could like purposely sabotage it in a way?
Well, they could try. Like they've already tried. Like they're everybody's endorsing who they want to be that candidate. And calling people saying, oh, this person is really good for Newark. And they're like...
correction, endorsing the candidate that they have selected.
Okay. The candidate that they have selected. So when they decide who they want, they will do whatever they can to get that candidate elected. Now, in this current situation, this is not just local or just Essex County. This is a federal election across 3 different counties, right? So I'm sure that they're trying to finagle because they've done it with the little forum or whatever, or the phone calls, or, you'll get, well, come on, endorse. And mayors will get together. Okay, so you're going to endorse. And so, yeah, they make deals, they make plans, and they're trying it now because there's a candidate now who actually should not even be on the ballot because of fraud. And it went back and forth with the judge, with the, who is she? The
other candidate?
No. The lieutenant governor.
Yes.
So the judge, lieutenant governor, back and forth. She's off the ballot. She's on the ballot. She's off the ballot. Listen, at the end of the day, they're all collabing together because they're beholden to each other because, you know, I'm going to fondle this and diddle that, you know. But yes, there are always things that are being done to keep those like myself off of the ballot or out of the seat.
I think the trick, honestly, too, is that they, like you said earlier, they promote like politics. Oh, make sure you vote, whatever. But I don't think they really teach us.
They don't civics.
Nothing about it, and it kind of installs this mentality in our head, like we don't need to worry about that, right? And so then we don't. And then you said something about the numbers, that how did this person get elected when only 2%? And it made me think, like, in Newark, honestly, I don't know many that vote.
Right.
So how did they?
So here's the thing, and I don't know dead people that vote. You know any dead people
No.
that vote? So, you know, sometimes dead people show up on these ballots, and on the petitions and stuff like this as well. So...
I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Deborah,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have a fear for your life?
I do not.
No, I'm trying to. I'm
She
serious
asking the tough questions.
because
No, because
honestly,
people-
it's the politics is very scary.
Oh, no, they're wicked.
It's very scary.
it
Like
is.
you said, people will do anything
Yeah.
to get to the top.
They will.
Even lower their standards and their morals
Absolutely.
to get to the top.
Absolutely.
Or they will be like, hey, Deborah is an actual,
She's a problem.
candidate. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a problem. I need to get her out. Do you ever fear being
Taken out?
Yeah, being
Yeah.
taken out.
You know...
Especially as a
So-
black woman, a strong black woman, you already have so many stigmas against you already. You're a woman,
Absolutely.
you're a black woman, you come from Newark. How do you keep going? How do you keep the fight?
Yeah, and so...
No fear.
Yeah,
Right.
Right. No, really, because, and like I told you, the people that jump out and be like, oh my God, and shaking my hand, but you need security. Like, I need to come in, you know.
I see why now. They ask, honestly, like,
Yeah.
you're a strong woman and you're fighting literally everyone's problems.
Yeah.
And they're seeing that, and they've put our problems to the back burner.
Right.
So it's now we have somebody that we could rely on. And this person is a threat because they can actually go to her for help or, for advice or for knowledge or for education purposes.
Yeah.
So how do you, serious question.
Yeah.
Do you ever fear do you have to keep looking over your back?
You know what I have found, like, people are scared for me, right? And they say these things, but then I've turned around and people have been there like, yo, we got you in these streets. Because something happened and it wasn't even dealing with me, but I was there because, okay, so like where I live, and then this lady was talking crazy to my neighbor and she was trying to get in the door. So I said, well, I'll just walk with you. So the lady was carrying on. And I'm like, ma'am, so we finally dead the situation, but I turned around and I jumped. I was like, yo. They're like, yo, I don't hit women, but if she got crazy, I was like, where did you even come from? Like, and so stuff like that happens to me all over the place. Like, and they're like, we got you in these streets. Like, and I don't even know these people. Like, some of them I know, some of them I don't. And so, like I said, I'm a woman of faith. And the thing is, I wasn't trying to do this. It's a call. So, and I fought with God about this. Like, why get this off me? Why do I care about these people? Like, right? And so one day I remember saying, all right, this is what you want me to do. I'm all in. And when I tell you, it is like a flame.
That
And
you can't
I can't put it out. And I'm not afraid of my life because I'm here to live for the cause. I ain't dying for it. I'm here to live for it.
And you see, the same thing happened with me. Because for some time I was dealing with like PTSD, anxiety. I've been shot in my face. I've been through a lot of things. And just the people coming to me like, yo, I love what you do and different things. I could super relate to you because I had to, pray and say, look, I don't want to feel like this.
Right.
Am I doing something that's going to take me? And then God gave me that strength.
Yeah.
And, I feel like he places things on your heart that you have to do. Like when you start to feel something hard, like on your heart, it's
That
your purpose.
burning,
You gotta
yeah.
you gotta do it,
Absolutely.
and you can never. You know, a lot of people ask me like, how do you keep it going? Like, how are you pouring out your cup? Like, who's refilling
Yeah.
your cup? You know,
God is.
and I'm like, God is. This is what.
Absolutely.
Because
Exactly.
David said, "My cup runneth over." Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
what's in the cup is mine. What
And
comes
surely
out is
goodness
for everybody.
shall
Shall
be-
follow me. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. That's right.
Right.
And you know, yea, though I walk through the valley of
Shadow
the
of death.
valley of a shadow. It didn't say it was death. It's a shadow. Of death. A shadow's not real, right? And so to be out here and to I've lost. I can't say I've lost people. People, they went their way because this is not for everybody, right? So relationships. I'm not gonna say friendships, associateships, because a friend is a friend. You know, a friend is not gonna go anywhere.
Right.
You know, a friend loves at all times. So if you're a friend, you're gonna stick in. If you were just a hanger-on or associate, you weren't really here
Yeah,
for it
exactly.
anyway. So you were here to get what you could get and get going. So you're gone, right? But the courage is just incredible, and it's like pressure can bust pipes, but pressure also makes diamonds. You understand? And I can't stop. Listen, and this is what I tell people. Well, how do I know you're going to be different from them other people? I said, because I could have been paid to shut up a long time ago.
I like to
time.
also
So
say,
what if somebody did come to you and said, "Look, Deborah Saltz, we got $500,000 for you to promote this company." Let's just say, like, this company wants to have you promote them, right? But in that contract, they say you can't really speak on certain things or wear certain brands because it might make the company that you're paid to support look bad.
or all that
So-
fight that you're doing,
so what
gotta
if-
die down.
Yeah, what if that happened? You know,
And
they
I've
offer
asked
you
her that
$500,000. What would you do in that situation? Would you
Ask-
turn it down?
Right.
Yeah, I
I
would.
asked you that question before.
She did.
What would you do if they tried to persuade you? But I think the thing is that they're in rooms having meetings trying to figure out what can they do. Because maybe a long time ago they could have had something. But it's too late. Because you can throw anything at Deborah. Deborah's not like everybody else. Okay, when she says she's for the people, she's for the people. Now, are you going to give her a building and say that she can have the building and give her all the developers and fix it up for low-income families? Is that what you're putting on the table? She's not for sale. The people are not for sale. She doesn't stop. Just because she's running for Congress, she still shows up at the council meetings. You got to understand. This is starting from the council meetings. You wondering if there's a target on her back? Of course. Have you seen her? You have to watch the tapes.
So
Deborah is a problem. It's a good problem for us, a bad problem for them, because
Right.
she doesn't let up. But when I say she stays on their necks, she stays on their necks. Every now and then, it's like maybe one or two can breathe that sit up on the council because she's not talking to them. But trust me, they're sweating because their turn is coming.
what is the plan for Congress once you get? Let's say you get in there. What's the plans? What are you going to start doing?
Somebody asked me this because I've been filling out a bunch of questionnaires. They've been sending me stuff. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to close these darn borders. That's what I'm going to do first. And I'm saying that because it's out of control.
Too much.
It's out of control. And when I say out of control, I'm talking about they're out here confronting we women like, go in your house. We can be out here. They're making noise in front of our homes. Yeah, we can do this. This is America. We're disrespectful. It's out of control. Threatening to rape women, coming home late at night. I'm telling you what I am seeing and experiencing and having to handle personally.
Right here in this
Right
city of
here
Newark.
in this city where we live because because it was a hot button topic at the time. George Floyd, all of this was going on. Oh, well, we're going to make ourselves a sanctuary city. Having no clue what they were saying at the time. I don't mind helping others, right? But when you have those of us who are here funding the living of those who are here, $6,000 a month, these folks are getting $5,000 and $6,000 a month.
Can you repeat that so everybody can be clear? You're
Yeah,
talking about
get close.
migrants.
Migrants that are here,
that come here with nothing get what?
$5,000 to $6,000 a month, $20,000 to start a business.
Say that again.
They're
'cause he didn't
putting them
understand
up.
that. Say that one more time.
And say it closer to the mic.
Yes, the migrants that come in here with nothing get what to start a business?
$20,000.
How much money you get to start your business?
It's
no
hard to
money?
get it's hard to get funding.
I'm sorry.
I'm
what you
still
mean?
trying to get some funding.
So you might want to identify as a migrant. Maybe that's how you'll get your $20,000 to start a business.
And they're telling others, oh, you got to come over here. We're getting all the benefits. I'm telling you what I'm seeing myself. You got to come over here. They're giving us everything. They're getting the best phones, best sneakers, clothes. They're putting them up in hotels. And I'm not talking about the Motel 6. I'm talking about the Hilton. I'm talking about the Marriott. I'm talking about they're coming here pregnant.
The Indigo?
The Indigo residents that opened up last year, and then they tried to, anyway, in there, the women are coming here pregnant, right? Getting the monies, and then getting re-pregnant, getting more of our money, being put up. They're opened up schools for them to live in, churches for them to live in.
I've seen that.
Right? The hotels that I told you. Meanwhile, and see, understand that this is not a black against Hispanic thing. It's an American versus non-American thing. Because now what is the incentive to become an American? And I'm saying this because I know bodega owners who have had their buildings and their businesses here for 20, 30 years, and they're upset because they had to go through the process. They had to wait 7 to 10 years to get their documents. Then they had to pay surcharges for their buildings, for their businesses. And they're upset because what is now the incentive? And then we have states who want to give them, and our own councilman, Gonzalez, had the nerve to try to slide it in one council meeting. Yeah, we need to get them the right to vote. And I yelled out, no. Because what is then the incentive to become a legal American and pay your fair dues and taxes? What is the incentive for that? So what, and not only that, we have senators putting legislation for them to get zero finance home loans.
Well, did you get that?
No.
Can you, what they doing for y'all?
And they have relaxed
Not even the bare minimum.
the rules for government jobs for them.
I can't even get help. I have a kid. They say I make too much money.
Thank you. We can't get 50 cents without being taxed $2 on the 50 cents they gave us. But meanwhile, we're giving everything to those who have not paid dues here.
Didn't our mayor also sign like something with a sister state and give them like money or?
They get money, yeah, sister state.
But wasn't it a fake sister
Yes.
state? Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear
Kinshasa or
about
whatever it was. Yes, it was a big deal.
All I heard is that they gave away a lot of money to people that were scamming. That's the only thing that I
No,
heard.
so usually states have sister states.
Sister cities.
Sister city, sorry. And so he basically signed with a city that didn't
That
even
wasn't a
exist.
city.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That's what I was talking about. They got scammed.
Now, and here's the thing. This is what I said, and they were told. But because the mayor and his office are so, their hubris is bigger than other things that they possess, they don't want to listen to anybody because they know. And they do these things, and people tried to tell them, did you research this? Oh, yeah, that. Right? And now, of course, like you're saying, and then they stopped it for a minute, and then they went back to it quietly. Right? But what is the purpose of these sister cities? How do we benefit from these sister cities? Is this just because no one has answered these questions for us? And so we've asked them repeatedly, right? So what is the point of this connection? Does this mean that you get to go to their country, you get to hang out for free, you did what is?
Do we get like a half off ticket to?
This is what I'm saying.
What do we get?
What is the benefit? But again, we have no answers. Which brings me to this OPRA request, Open Public Request Act, right? Where we were able to submit documentation saying we need all of the facts about this deal you did, this ordinance you did, this whatever. Now, we were already receiving problems from City Hall, the clerk that they put in office to block us anyway. Because when they put her in there, she had no credentials, but they held the spot for her. And we had somebody with credentials that was already doing the job. But anyway, she already wouldn't give us the information. Now you got Murphy, who's friends with this mayor, and, you know, passes this bill that now it's even harder to get this information from the Oprah Request Act. So what are you hiding, sir? What is really going on?
I know that because I am from the South, where I'm from Dayton Street, and I know that they came up with the plan to do the production studio. They always coming up with these, this is going to bring income to our city, it's going to bring the traffic our way, this and that. But when I go downtown, I see mostly all our stores are closed.
Yeah.
I see, like you said, are people still on the streets? I actually do interviews as well, and I went around and spoke to people that said, like, they have to be homeless until they turn 60, I think 62 or something, so they can get their benefits.
Yeah.
So they have to be homeless until they're 62?
Like, because they're not being able to, like, their stipulations to, like, being helped sometimes. If you're not disabled or elderly or this or that, you know, they won't help you. Or the others.
The others. If you're the others.
They won't help you. So there's
And why do you think the businesses are vacant? And why so many people is moving their businesses out of Newark?
And why are we being told that these businesses that they're bringing in, instead of the ones we're opening in our community, are supposed to help, but it doesn't seem like they're helping?
Because here's the thing. When you have leadership who is making deals that benefit themselves, it's called pay to play. By the way, Newark had the strongest pay to play ordinance. It was stronger than the states, which means that it's a limit to how much money that people can pour into your coffers when you're running for office and stuff like that, like developers and people like that. And right before the 22 election, the mayor had the council rescind the pay-to-play ordinance, which meant it was wide open for them to pour into their coffers. So what happens is there are deals made with developers. All right, I'll give you this, you give me that. And the people are cut out of that deal, right? Even with the percentage, there's a loophole to where even if they don't want to give us the 20%, they can cut it by 1 or 2 apartments or 4 apartments. But then you put that money into a trust fund. But where's this trust fund and who gets the money? You see what I'm saying? So it's a game, you know, the shell game.
Question.
Yes.
Somebody put up their, homeless tax. You are responsible for this crime. You any idea what they mean by this?
Say that again.
Somebody said homeless tax. You two are responsible for this crime. It's actually right there.
Okay, I would have to put my glasses on. you two are responsible. I don't understand what they're saying. I know that if they're saying the homeless tax, so
what is that? I don't know.
So what is happening now? Legislation was just passed about people being homeless. It's against the law to be homeless in certain places now.
Oh yeah.
Right, which is crazy, because here's the thing. Like I said, homelessness is a business because we get millions and billions of dollars for this. Newark just got a $4 million for homelessness and homes and
It's like a homelessness prevention. Like they're supposed to give the money to help the homeless,
but they don't. And I'll give you an example. So back during COVID, millions. At this point, it's billions have flowed through this city. The city of Newark paid this one hotel out by the airport $10 million for 300 homeless. And it wasn't even for a full year. Then they came back and asked for another 3.7, like 4 months later. And we were in the council, and I went off, and so it wasn't published. That 10 million wasn't published, but I knew about it. And I said, "Are we talking about the same hotel that you just paid $10 million for only 300 homeless?" And looking like, I said, so we want to give them another $3.7 million on top of that when we could have built a state-of-the-art facility with all the wraparound services that's necessary for this amount of money that you want to pay these people. Then it was like, oh, all right, we'll defer that $3.7 million, right? Now, this same hotel, they offered the city of Newark to buy it, and they said no. By the end of it, we paid them $12.9 million. I would have to go back and look at it. But it was only 300 homeless. You didn't take care of the entire homeless population. 300 homeless. Right? So where did that money really go to?
So for a year, how much you think is a good, amount of money to take care of the homeless as far as rent and whatever they, was giving them for a year? It's obviously not 12 million, but
no. Well, okay, so I'll say it like this. If we took, and this is what I started with about the HUD properties, we have enough buildings where we don't even have to build the
refurbish Carmel Towers.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
But now somebody else bought
fixing that up.
But it stayed vacant for years, and you're on the track that I was going to go to. And this is the one thing that should have been done, the one-for-one replacement, which came out of the mayor's own mouth when he got in office. If you take one, you put one. Like, you know what I mean? You renovate, you put the people back in. They should never have torn down Seth Boyden.
Absolutely.
Because you cannot rebuild it. And the funny thing, not ha-ha, but ironic thing, when the guy was up there talking about it, when they had the whole ribbon cutting ceremony, but you just can't build these edifices again. And I'm looking at him like, did you hear what you just said?
You can't rebuild these.
So why would you tear it down? And I was in that original Zoom meeting, the original Zoom meeting where the discussion was about what needed to be done with that property. And what it was said originally was to rehab it and add retail. The next thing we knew, Lionsgate was coming. Where did this come from? It's not bringing jobs for we the people here in the city of Newark. It's not. What's going to happen if Lionsgate actually comes down there, the way that we're able to move freely through that Freeland housing,
it won't be that.
It won't be that.
They already, like I said, I'm from that area. So like my mom has been living in Creshman Home for years. They constantly come to her trying to buy her out and trying to get her to move, because if they can get everybody in that community to pay, basically buy them off, they can knock it down and give them Section 8 or housing, and then
but where?
But build something. Oh, somewhere else.
Exactly.
Some Virginia
another
or
town, right?
Another state, another town.
Because now every town has to now have affordable housing for people to live in, the real low to moderate income. And so that's what's happening. When you get people who don't come from anything, any kind of money looks good to them.
Yeah.
Right? It's pennies when you should have millions, and you're taking the pennies because, And meanwhile, and I'm going to put it like this. They sold us out, SOLD, because they're sold out, SOULED. Right? You're sold, SOULED. They're sold out, so they sold us out. And that's what it is. Because actions express priorities. Right? So you show what you really care about. You show it every day. You can tell somebody you love. Like, people tell me you love me. Okay.
But I don't want to hear it. Show me.
Thank you. And so when you look at our city and you look at the blight, and they could turn up the lights in this city. They don't want to, because now they can go to the federal government. Oh, do you see our crime level? Do you see our blight? Do you see? That's how we got $4 more million from the Harris-Biden administration. Newark just last week got $4 more million for homelessness or homelessness prevention because of the lies and photo ops. He posted on Instagram. Oh, was it Instagram or Facebook? Oh, I've provided affordable housing and livable wages. Have you seen those two things?
No.
Anywhere?
No.
Well, who is paying us enough money to live in these things that they're calling affordable?
Which, by the way, the affordable housing, like with the Vermella, The Vermella has the market rate apartments, and then there's the affordable apartments. Just as an FYI, the affordable apartments are closets.
Yes.
They're not the same size, and I even asked the council, are they the same size as a market rate? In which Councilman Gonzalez said, yeah, they are. They should be.
And they're not.
And they're not. You can go and look at, a market rate apartment, 2-bedroom, and it's like this big, and then when they show you the one that you're looking at, affordable, it's this big. Literally, it is that big. And I'm like, well, that's not equal. Like, I thought they were supposed to get the same size, just you're paying less because you don't make as much as whatever, and it's supposed to be affordable. But we've been advocating for a low to moderate income because affordable is not affordable. Affordable is to get the New Yorkers to come over here because they can pay that. That's why everything is $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 because it attracts everyone. But you had that whole 360 plan for Newark, but that wasn't for you. Wasn't for you. Wasn't for us. It was for everybody that doesn't live here, so that way they could come to Newark. These buildings that they're building, and they have like 300 units and only 5 or 10 for the affordable, the ones that they want to take pity on. Which, by the way, you could go fill out an application, but again, you have to make at least $65,000 before they even look at you.
And who's making that?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Right.
crazy.
And the Vermella, their affordable units are only 1-bedroomers.
Yes. The whole thing, wait a minute, the whole place is 1-bedroom.
So who do you know that needs an affordable apartment, a 1-bedroom, and you
They
have
got
children?
kids.
Right? And so, and we're saying all of these things, and if you go back and look, that 360 plan that they did was basically what we said we needed for Newarkers, and they paid somebody a 6-figure salary to take what we said and put it in a plan for outsiders.
Now, I do have a question, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, if you're born and raised in Newark, you already know that sometimes we get comfortable. We like free stuff. We how do we transition our mindset or change our mindset to be like, hey, this is not just somewhere I'm supposed to be comfortable.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, I personally feel like affordable housing should be leveraged.
Absolutely.
It should be able to get you to where you need.
Exactly.
But I think that we as a community, we get stuck.
Lazy.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good. I love
We
this.
get
You know
lazy.
what? I can afford this. I don't need to make any more money. Whatever I get is what I get.
And then it's like they put that statistic, if you make even like $1 more, we cut you off. So how do you help us change our mentality? Like how, in terms of you utilizing it and not
making it a lifestyle.
Exactly.
Okay, and that's beautiful because that's one of the things that I talk to us about all the time. We have become lazy, complacent, satisfied with just what, I got this, that's why I'm glad, honestly, when welfare said, okay, I don't care how many kids you have, your stipend's not going up anymore.
Right.
Because I literally heard women, oh, girl, I can't wait to drop this low so my stipend could go up, right? Like, that's not a job.
Right.
Like, so what has happened is, and so what's going to happen, or what is happening now, is things are being cut. So what's going to happen is people are going to start hurting. They're too comfortable.
I was gonna say that, and I think that kind of goes within like our topic that we talked about last time too, like our children being involved in the wrong stuff. I don't think there's no more fight anymore.
Right.
We are literally being handed everything. You need something, go to social media. You need this, go there. There's no fight to be like, hey, I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I'm gonna get it.
But I have to get
and I have to.
And that's part of the plan, right? So when the Democrats are telling you, and I'm going to say this because it is important, because they want us to look at Trump, look at the Republicans, look at what they're doing. Meanwhile, to me, the worst people are those who are supposed to be with you, but they're selling you a dream while they're living something else.
At least keep it real with me. Don't sell me no dream.
Exactly.
See, Republicans will tell you to your face, we're doing this, we're doing that. No, we're taking that.
And a Democrat will sit there and be like, hey, Deborah, you doing a great job, and I'm over here taking from her account.
Yeah.
Yep, basically. Yep.
So while you patting me on my back, your hand is in my pocket where I can't see it, right? So here I am having to, this is perfect. And we'll get back to the lazy people. Mm-hmm. But with this whole Democrat thing. So our council, last year, it's been a year now, voted on an ordinance, and we told these people not to do this, where they're allowing the slumlords and landlords to raise our rent 5% a year. Up to 5%. Now, for those of us who are already rent burdened, that extra $75, extra $100 a month. Yeah. So when it literally knocked at my door a couple months ago, I went to the council and I said, "You voted yes for this, so I need $11 from each one of y'all up there."
I know that's right.
I'll pay the extra $1 a month, but each one of you need to start writing the check every month for $11 because you said yes. Yep. And our people are already suffering. Right. Because you don't have to live like this. They're getting a 6-figure salary for a part-time job.
Say that again.
6-figure salary for a part-time job.
One more time.
6-figure salary for a part-time job.
And some of them already have full-time jobs that are paying them 6 figures. So 6 plus 6.
It's not said like this, but they got a 12-figure salary.
No, but it needs to be said like, it needs to be said like this, so that we can understand better. You know, like our community, we don't look up to see what's going on. Right. So we don't know if we're ignorant to it. You know.
And I have some other questions for you as well. I didn't get to ask any of my questions. Great conversation we be having, but I did want to get a couple of these questions out because I know. We got about 30 minutes, probably a little bit more than that. All right. I already pretty much asked you what is Newark to you. We're gonna go into this next question. What advice do you have for kids who's coming from poor households and there's barely any food on the table and they feel like they have to get in the streets?
Okay. So as an educator, because I'm a substitute teacher as well, and literally. Emily and I, our nonprofits merged, and we actually fed families. Like I literally in the school took groceries to children's families, and that's what we do. So for me, when I talk to the young people, I would tell them, talk to someone like myself.
Well, like a guide, what if they can't get to you, like a guidance counselor?
A guidance counselor.
What about for the kids that went to the guidance counselors and then the guidance counselors went and did exactly what they said they wasn't going to do?
I was just getting ready to go there. Yeah. So here's what I find. And there's someone out here, and listen, there is someone, because I had students that would tell me the truth and tell their parents a lie, or tell somebody else a lie, because it's about being made to feel comfortable enough. I don't judge people. My job is to love on people, and that's how I address it. There's somebody out there, and that's the problem. Even with the pastors, you got these jackleg preachers out here, and that's where I was going to go with the thing about being a public servant. Right? There's a public servant somewhere in your neighborhood. It might be Miss Johnson and she rough, but take the roughness because you need that tough love. Listen, come here, pull your pants up. What's wrong with you? Boy, take that thing off your head. I literally did that the other week. I was going into one of these establishments, and I'll get back to that. And the young man came in there. He was coming because they were giving the kids summer jobs. And I looked at them. First of all, they came in smelling like weed. Do not do that. Looking for a job. Came in, and the one guy had his shirt on his shoulders, but I didn't know until later that he was there to support the other guy. But he had just gotten his job somewhere else. The kid had whatever this thing was on his head. His pants wasn't pulled up. And I just said to him, I said, can I say something to you? I said, if you want people to take you seriously, do me a favor. First of all, don't come in over smelling like weed. Even though they made it legal, every job is not legal for, especially federal jobs. They're not having it. Don't do it. So I said to him, can I say something to you? He said, sure. I said, can you pull your pants up, please? You're here for a job, right? Summer job. I said, look at all of these other young people that have come in here. and you got this thing on you. What is that even on your head? Take that off your head.
Was it a bandana?
It wasn't even a bandana. It was something weird.
Like
I
the
couldn't
ski
even.
thing, because they be wearing like the ski thing in the summer.
Like the
It
ski
was
mask and they put it
weird,
tie
but
up
it
a
was
little bit.
it was
what is going
crazy.
on?
I didn't even know. I was like, I couldn't even make out what it was.
Right.
Take that off your head, right? But they have to have someone that they know has their back. So I get it. Who do I really go to? Who can I really trust?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hungry. Like, who can I ask for something that's not going to try and play me?
Oh, yep, throw it in my face.
Throw it in my face. But I'm saying, I'm telling that young person, we are out here. And if you're serious about being fed and being led, we out here. So don't throw your hands up just yet. And I know it's tough. Do not throw your hands up. There's somebody out here.
Mm-hmm. And my next question I have for you was, what advice would you give? No, I'm gonna do this one. If you live in the hood, bad environment, it don't matter if it's Newark, wherever.
Mm-hmm.
When is it a good idea to plan a pregnancy?
To plan a what?
Pregnancy.
Well,
Would you feel like the state of how Newark is, where we at right now?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's a good idea to plan a pregnancy while here, or do you think it doesn't matter and it's just if your family is put together?
Plan? I mean, they're telling you, they're advertising, go get an abortion. They are advertising that African Americans should want an abortion over having actual children, giving birth. That's what it is. Now, the migrants, they want them to have babies.
Right.
You got to understand, we, the African Americans, are being phased out. They don't need us anymore. Why do you think that they try so hard to let the migrants have licenses, driver's license, and they want them to vote because that's their base now?
Because we woke up and stopped giving them our vote for chicken dinners and turkeys with no wings and
And they
legs
know
on.
if they give them a little bit of extra cash a month or a little bit of extra assistance a month, they're going to get that guaranteed vote.
That's
Right.
right.
So
You're
here's
saying
the
don't
thing:
plan.
you can't plan something when they're actively trying to talk you out of it by saying if you have an oops pregnancy, it's okay. It's your reproductive right to go and get an abortion. Mind you, you don't know what they're doing with the babies that they take out of you,
yeah.
and y'all ain't getting a check for them abortions neither, which you should be, because they are taking those baby fetuses
And
they're
them.
using them. So technically, if y'all smart and y'all want to go and get your abortion, y'all need to ask for a check because they owe you some money for the fetuses that they're using for our vaccine
cell,
and everything else that they're
vaccine,
doing. Remember
hair
Henrietta
products.
Lacks?
That's right.
What was it? Say it again?
Remember Henrietta Lacks?
Lax.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
They
don't know who that
used
is?
her blood. That's to cure cancer and things like this. And her family is just now, I believe they finally settled on something.
They
but
didn't use it, they stole it.
they stole it.
I believe it.
She was
I
dying
believe it.
of cervical cancer, and because her cells kept regenerating, and they never stopped. And they
They took
continued,
it
only one that continues to regenerate, so they can
and
use
used
it
it.
and test it for different things and different cures.
A
and
lot
whatever,
of our cures
but
came
they
from
stole
her
it.
blood.
Oh, wow.
Now you being a mom, I don't know if are you a mom?
I am.
You both of you being moms, and you say you're an educator, advocate,
Yes.
all of that. What would you tell the youth when it comes to the pregnancies or because would we tell the same thing to our youth that we would tell to the adults?
Absolutely. So here's my thing. Number one, sit your little hot butts down somewhere.
Oh, wait, hold on. She said, sit your hot asses down.
And I think the reason why he shifted into it is because it has to do with the kids in our
Yes.
community. And like I said,
Yes.
if we continue being kids, having kids,
Yeah.
how can we grow? In
There
our,
are no more big mamas. Big mama's 36.
Exactly.
Yep,
Or you
she
got
younger than that.
You got videos now where you see like 6 generations out, and because they had them so young. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of so.
It's not cool. Because here's the thing. Like I said, sit your hot butt down. And what's happening is the young people are not being taught. They're not being raised. They're not being mentored. And as you know, when we grew up, keep your legs closed, keep your dress down, keep your panties up. And now it's like, what's wrong with you? You ain't doing this and that. You know, it's reversed, right? Where chastity and modesty used to be a thing. Now it's all show it all and all of this, and some of them don't need to show it all when you look at what they're showing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, please. But that's what's happening. Our children are not being raised anymore. They're raising themselves. They're talking to each other because the parents are still trying to be young and live their lives.
And they always want to have fun.
And how does that affect our current community? You know, these kids grow up and, you know, they end up doing the same exact thing. And they make kids now.
And so they don't,
who
the
is leading
curse
the
is not
future.
broken. The cycle is not broken. So what we need to do now, right? Those of us, because it does take a village. That's not a cliche. We had it growing up to where if Miss Johnson saw you doing something,
Miss Johnson could pop you.
Miss
over your
Johnson whooped your butt. Then when you got home, you got 4 more whoopings because number one, Miss Johnson shouldn't have had to say anything to you because I taught you what
Better
to
than
do
that.
already. Exactly, I taught you better than that. So what we need to do as a community and for the working mothers, I understand it. You're working 2 jobs, sometimes 2.5, 3 jobs because you need to get your kid together. And so for those of us who can help, we need to help. These are our children. And this is what I tell people who say, I don't have no kids in the system. I don't have no. Yes, you do. Because guess what? Pookie and Ray Ray are going to be that one busting somebody's grandmother in the head, stealing somebody's car, when you could have influenced that child. You could have infused. You could have input something into that child. So it is all of our responsibility.
They say it's easier to get a chop. It's hard to get a cake, but in the hood you can get a chopper. It's hard to get a cake, but in the hood you can get a chopper. Meaning, like, no one. If you ask for a gun right now, I bet you'll be able to find somebody that will give you a gun to do something bad, versus someone who actually would stop you and be like, "Don't do that."
Yeah.
Right.
Or you know what? It's your birthday, a special day. Let me go out there and do something for you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask these 2 questions in one. It's basically like this around the same thing. Advice to teenage couples that think they're ready to have a baby. You know how they got that young love, that tweet love, and they like, that's my baby, that's this. And he's like, yeah, that's my girl, man. We gonna do it. And they either like 16, 17 years old, and they think they this forever. What advice do you give to them? And is it possible to prevent so much teenage pregnancy?
It is possible. With all the stuff that's out here, it is definitely possible. First of all, let me say this. If you don't even know who you are, that's a problem. That's why everybody's jumping and skipping and hopping. You over here one day, you're over there the next. Well, what's your favorite? And I've seen women do this. Who your football team? Oh, the Raiders. Next week is the Giants because you with Billy. You know, and what you want to eat? Girl, I'm going to have steak and eggs. You don't even like eggs. Like, you know what I mean? So if you don't know who you are, why would you bring a child into that chaos? And that's what is happening.
That's what's been happening for a long time.
That's what's been happening. You and you get together. You in chaos. You in chaos. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you like.
How can you
playing around.
Chaos if y'all both in chaos.
And now you're going to bring this child into your chaos. It's just a repetitive cycle. It is not fair. You did not give this child a chance. So what I would tell a teenage couple, let teenage love be teenage love, and don't be so ready to stick and move and get it in and all of that. Hold on to your hormones. It's okay. Y'all can hold up a little bit. You know what I mean? And if you're going to have sex, there's enough protection out here to prevent unwanted pregnancies. Stop treating abortion as contraception. It is not contraception.
And you know what I hear a lot is when I have these topics, when I post up these questions, you know, a lot of people hit me with, well, I did it and my son is doing good. I had my kid 16, 17 years old, and I think it's, you know.
That was a different time.
I actually had people tell me, oh, you don't want to have them too late. Like 18 is like really good to have your kid.
Okay, that was a
before you're
different
financially
time.
stable, before you're mentally stable, before you have your own car, and before you even get out your mother's house.
They not promoting marriage. They not promoting the love in the marriage.
Marriage is dead.
They're literally telling you, yeah, we gonna go ahead, go
make
have your
these
baby.
babies and go right on government assistance.
I do have one thing too. You said you're in education. You're an educator. Do you feel like the school system plays a part in how fast our children are growing up as well. Because I say that because, like I said, my parents did not let me have nail polish, this and
Right.
that, and our kids are going to school with like lashes that you can't even see out your eyes.
And I'm talking
the nails longer than
The pink hair.
Yeah. Do you think that the school
schools
system should
allowing
put a
them?
stop to allowing them? Because I know that when I was younger, they implemented the uniform system. I
Right.
thought it was beautiful because there are people who come from, unfortunate situations, and it kind of brought us together. But now we kind of lost ourselves in the school system, where it's like now it's no longer about education, it's about popularity, it's about like fashion show. And now our teenagers are getting caught up in that mentality of, oh yeah, I can go out and have a baby because I'm grown. My mama let me wear these long nails. They let me go to school.
Man, I had a
thinking
16-year-old tell me I could do what I
full
want
face
'cause I'm
of
grown.
makeup.
They do.
They're going. I've seen middle schoolers go to school
I
with
was
a
just getting ready
full
to tell
face
you.
of makeup, and their parents' excuse is, oh, my child wants to pursue makeup.
Yeah.
So they're
Yep.
practicing.
So it really is on the parents, because let me tell you something. Dealing with these children, I have seen 5th graders running to school, right? Forget the 7th and 8th graders. One 8th grader brought a gun to school, and was back in school a day later, too late. Like, what are we doing?
That happened at my son's school.
What?
They brought a knife. They didn't call no parents or nothing about
Nothing. They
it.
didn't
It just
tell them.
came up on the news.
Yeah. And so it definitely starts at home. We need parenting at home, because when you don't parent your child at home and you send that child to school and they meet me, it's a whole nother situation, because I'm not screaming, I'm not pulling my hair out. I'm going to speak to them in a tone where they understand. We're not doing that, sir, ma'am, have a seat. No. But why do I have to re-raise your child when you need to do that at home?
But what about the ones that's at work? Like I said, if we keep allowing and not speaking on things,
Right.
about early pregnancy, teenage pregnancy, then we're going to keep having parents
Absolutely.
who weren't ready to have their child. Now
Absolutely.
they're at work, they're working 2 jobs, and little Ray or whoever the kid is at home learning from social media, looking
Absolutely.
up to rappers, influenced by
Right.
the environment, X, Y, and Z.
And so let me say this to you, because surviving Newark. So growing up, and that's why I say with the parenting, I'm the youngest of 8,
Wow.
right? My mother worked the graveyard shift, which is that 11 to 7, right? Just so she could be home during the day if she needs to come to the school.
Sacrifices.
Boom, boom, boom. Sacrifices, right? But we understood. She's at work. We know what the rules are, or there are consequences and repercussions. Today, there is no repercussions and consequences. These children are now the parents to their parents.
Yep.
They're ruling the house. They're ruling the roost. They're telling the parent what to do.
Yeah.
When I grew up and the way that I handle business, you may be seeing stars when you realize, oh, wait, what did I say? Right?
Yep.
So, and what I'm saying is we have to take accountability as parents. If we are not going to stand firm and do what is necessary to parent, then don't open your legs and have a baby.
Yep.
Number one, if you're not responsible enough to we have so many contraceptives out here, and you don't want to be in it. Oh, I like it raw. I want to feel him against my walls.
But
like
that's
this.
the music, the influence that they had, all of that.
It's culture
all of
right
it.
now. It's easily manipulated. When you got misguided, impressionable people, they fall for anything. Like I
Right.
said, like they had half of the young men out here wearing purses.
Oh,
you know?
yes, the man purse.
They can make anything. They had little young brothers I know was calling each other Bay Boy.
What?
Yeah, they was calling each other
I
Bay
heard
Boy.
I don't know. But
Yeah. He was like, hey, Bay Boy.
Oh,
you know how we
Okay.
spoke before, right?
Yeah.
And you said that you was at one point when you were following, you wanted to do whatever to impress the females, right?
Right, 100%.
Now, think about it like this. I was thinking about it the other day. Most of these men are wearing purses, painting their nails, putting all that stuff in their head to impress who? Because if you're impressing the woman, are we allowing this? Are we saying as women that we have to demasculate our men to have to be looked at like superior? I really don't know.
want a man to be spending more time than me in
In the mirror.
And if
And
you
I'm a mechanic, and you are too.
Girl.
And I don't want no man spending more time in the mirror than I am.
No, I don't. I don't.
And it wasn't even on like them being feminine. It was like they made it a part of the culture. And you know, you got ask drug dealers, people that's on the block, you know, the tough guys.
They gotta be doing it for a
they
reason,
got
right?
crossover body bags and stuff. And you know, the older generation, the people I know, they look at that like, yo, why he got on
and
a
the
purse?
women are accepting it though. The women are like, yeah, like go ahead, like my man look good. And
Well, I mean, they're accepting it's the celebrities. They're accepting.
Yeah,
them
right,
in their
right. That's what I'm
skirts.
saying.
They're
That's what I'm
wearing
saying.
skirts now. They're wearing dresses.
If they make it cool
Right.
to wear heels,
There's nothing cool
They will put
about
on
it.
heels.
They look silly,
Nothing.
but we're
And
not
so-
speaking up about it. We're just going along to get
Right.
along.
just like
And-
she said, black faces in high places. Now they're using the black face
Yep.
to manipulate the culture,
part.
and nobody's speaking up.
Right.
But back then, when it was being manipulated and influenced, and we had all these different people just showing ass and doing all this stuff, we didn't have the platforms to speak
Right.
up.
But at one point,
Right.
our men were too masculine, overly masculine. Now you want to demasculate them?
And you know
That's
what that
part
is?
that's part of the system.
Yeah, but what's happening, and I want everybody to pay attention to this. While we're glorifying demasculated men, the world is watching.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize we are on the verge of a World War III out here? Do you
Yes.
see these people? We got ships on the East Coast, outside of Cuba, sitting here waiting, like, you know, submarines and stuff. Like, we need to really pay attention to what is going on here. We have gotten so swept up in the midst of the illusion that people are giving us things to look at instead of what's really going
front of
on in the world, directly what's in front of our face. And we need to really raise our children. We have to. The child pornography, the missing children. Do you know that America is the biggest consumer of child sex?
Yep.
The largest consumer.
But how do you speak up if most of the parents right now that have the 12 and 13-year-olds right now, they're 30 years old? Or they just turned 30. So how do you tell them, like, yo, you're doing this wrong, if they even have a parent that's like, girl, don't listen to nobody. That's your kids. That's da-da-da-da.
Right. And so in a situation like that, you have to use visuals, right? You have to give examples and say, okay, so you're saying this, look at this, right? You're saying you were fine. What was happening at this time? Because remember, in years prior, we had songs like Fight the Power, you know, Stand Up, U-N-I-T-Y.
Yes.
Don't call me a bitch or a hoe, I'll smack your
Yeah.
face, you touch. Like,
But
we
now
were-
we're telling them, yeah, I'm your bitch. I'm this. I'm
Now
your
they
hoe,
saying
this.
they
Right.
saying I'm a slut, I'm a hoe, I'm this,
Yeah.
I want to fight,
But-
and I feel like that's tricking the youth into thinking
It
it's
is
okay.
absolutely tricking them into that. And this is why I'm saying we have to parent. If you have a child, it is your responsibility to parent that child.
For
The
the
only
ones
thing I
that
can
don't
say-
parent, though, do we, as like the school system, do we be like, hey, like I said, do you think that it would be beneficial if they be like, new rule, no makeup, no
And
eyelashes,
some
no
schools are
phones, no
doing
all of
that.
this stuff.
Yes.
The dress code.
The dress code.
Because my sibling has a partner who is a foreigner, right?
Right.
And she told me that when she was going to school, they weren't allowed to do none of that, and they're so well mannered.
Absolutely.
So well
Absolutely.
mannered.
Because America dumbs us down on purpose. Because it's all about the financials. Like I said, they're not into curing anything. They want to treat everything. Because treatment is money. It's all about the dollar.
Yeah, there's more money if you got, a dumb generation of people that's going to go right into the prison, that's going to follow
Yes,
behind
that's
this
Or
it.
prison.
these trends, follow the trends.
Now look at
Yes.
this. If they are the ones in control of the most of the real estate, the prisons, the record labels,
I'm scared
and
for
the
the
and the clothing brands, they can get you to buy their clothes,
Golly.
get you into their prisons, and now the record labels is gonna promote, and they're gonna
Exactly.
fall for it, and your kid is
And
gonna be
that
there
is-
too.
And that is exactly what's happening. It's a pipeline to prison. That's literally what's happening. Do you realize that inmates make 90% of the stuff that we use? They're making this stuff. It used to be the joke before, you're going to
And
be
they're
making
getting paid
license
like
plate
25 cents and
$2 a day.
Yeah. Something
And
like
I
that.
feel like if we continue to not speak up, that's why I thought of like platforms like this. That's why I thought of my character Tavon to show
Yes.
people, how ignorant they look. You know what I mean? And it's
or
not
the
okay.
outcome. You choose this outcome, you'll end up in this situation.
I
it's
had
real.
to, you know what I mean? Just like these kids could see all of this negativity, they got to be able to see some type of positive.
Positive.
They do
You know?
see it, but that's where the courage. When you asked me about the courage, it takes courage to be different,
Yeah.
to not go along to get along.
And to stand out.
It takes courage, and you have to have it. And that's why it's called self-esteem. It's yourself. You have to take yourself and say, I'm not doing that.
Right.
They're going to laugh at me. Okay. And the thing about that is the people who are laughing or talking about you want to do what you're doing, but they don't have the courage to do it. The ones who are talking about what you're doing and are not doing what you're doing, because they don't have the heart and the courage to do it.
I got told, hey, you're too pretty to be a tech or mechanic, be dirty, why would you want to be in that type of field? And honestly, my mama installed all of this into me.
That's right.
When I was younger, I'm the youngest. And she used to be like, hey, Crystal, fix this for me. Fix
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And so I grew up like, hey, am I like, is this really my talent? And then that stigma of like, hey, you're too pretty to be doing something. Like, what?
Yeah.
But now I have people that see, like I said, I'm a roller coaster / rise tech, and they'll hit me up like, hey, can I have some tickets? Or hey, like, you're doing your thing now.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's positive. Like, I'm the example, and that's why I do it, because I want to teach the youth.
Right.
But we
Yeah.
need more people
Absolutely.
like Kid Problem, like myself, and like you ladies, who are going to be able to not just speak, but also offer them a alternative to what's going on in their life.
Yeah, and that's what I did. So when I teach in classes and I talk to the kids, I'll ask them questions. I'll say, so what is it that you love to do? And they're looking at me like, huh, what? What is it that you love to do? What do you spend most of your time doing? And they'll say it, and I said, now how can we monetize that? What? How can we make money off of that thing that you love to do so much? Because if you're spending the time doing it, then you need to get paid. And don't you know, I spoke to a couple young ladies, and they told me what they wanted to do. I like doing designs. I like doing the blah, blah, blah. I spoke to them the next week, and the one kid made like $300 in a weekend.
Wow.
Because it just took someone
To be like start.
because I tell them, and this is what I say, do you want to be young and rich or old and broke? Like, I don't want to go to this job, man.
And that's all some of our kids, I'm going to say our and not these. Our kids in our community,
Right.
that's what they need.
Right.
A push.
Right. And
a reassurance.
Yeah.
You can do it. It's okay.
And then I told them, I said, listen, I'll even hook you up with people in the field that you're looking to work in.
Absolutely.
I have people that will mentor you and show you this and show you that. And so they got excited. I said, now write your business plan. And this is what was happening. And this is aside from me teaching science. You know what I mean? So, and this is what is needed. They need to know that what you have inside you already. You have and this is what I say. I would say, good morning, great ones. This I talk to my sixth graders. And like, and they would feel embarrassed. And I said, what's the matter? You don't think you're great? Well, somebody, and it was one of the teachers. Somebody looked and made this face when you said that, and that's when I told them, this is called self-esteem. I'm talking to you.
Building it up. Yeah.
This is how I dealt with them, and this is how I deal with them, because once we fortify our children and let them know, and I would tell them, I'm going to learn as much from you as you will learn from me. And they're looking. I said, because, and that's how I deal with them. So just to say, when we take our children and we see them, because I see the kids outside, I'll speak to them, we'll talk. When they know that they're not being judged and they're actually being encouraged, like, you get me, like, then they will feel free to open up or receive.
Right.
And that's the problem. You can't talk at a child.
You got to talk to a child, with the child.
And that's something that I had to learn, being a mentor and try to listen,
Listen.
You can't just be da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You gotta just let them do all of that. You know what I mean?
When you was younger, the adult telling you like, oh, is your mom is your dad, let it go, or this and that, like, no, you be real with yourself as well.
And you have to realize that children are little people.
Exactly.
They're little people. They're little you.
Yeah.
So they have bad days. They have.
Yep.
I told my children that I teach, being young is rough. I said, it's hard. And they look at me like, y'all, Miss Salts. And I start saying stuff. They be like, looking at each other like, girl, she said that, you know. And I said, it's rough. Okay, because you got to navigate. Number one, you're trying to figure out who you are, who you can trust. Is this really my friend? And so I go through all of the scenarios with them. And that's what we have to understand. They're little people. They have days like we have days. They have thoughts. They're confused. They don't understand. Remember, and I'm going to put it like this. Be who you needed when you were younger.
I say it all
Right.
the time. Speak life and not death.
That's why I was like, you know what? You know, I got to put out into the universe what I didn't get, you know, as far as even social media and being a mentor. You know, I got to be that person that I feel like can help these young brothers and sisters. And that's why I thought of my nonprofit, you know, Change Start With Us. You know, now I could take the grants that I get, you know, and help them out. How can I get you to disassociate from these gangs, these negative friends? How can I stop you from selling weed? Why are you selling weed? Why are you doing these things? Then I could go and get this grant. Okay, if you stop doing this for a month, 2 months, bro, we could go and get what you need.
Absolutely.
I'll help you out.
Absolutely.
And this platform also helps the ones that maybe you can't physically get to.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
And that's what people don't understand, you know, with the work that I do. They'll be like, man, that's not going to, just like I said, if they could see all this negativity, they got to be able to see the positivity.
And let me tell you this, because you mentioned something earlier, and because I know time is running down, but you asked me about giving up or feeling the courage or what. And I remember one day I was just heartbroken. I forget what happened. I was just like, all right, I'm done. Like, I just, you know, and I was in an airport in another state, and I was on my way back home. And this woman was like, hey, I remember when you did this and I saw it then. I was like, okay, all right, guy. I mean,
makes you feel good. It really makes you feel good.
It's actually quite scary because we were in Jersey City at my son's track race. And this guy, and when I say broke his neck, he almost broke his neck to get to this woman. I know who he was. She didn't know who he was. And he knew her from watching her at the council meetings.
And you got to embrace it.
All was said and done, I was like, you know him? She didn't know him.
But
I'm like all the way from Jersey City. Like,
yeah, and it's like wherever I go, I'm in another country and I'm talking about Newark. Like this stuff happens. But and even in the city, like somebody walked up to me, they'll come up to me and say, listen, I gotta say, I really watched those meetings for you and maybe a couple others. But what you're doing, just keep doing what you're doing. And it comes at a time when I'm like, I don't know. And so I can't quit and people will tell me all the time, you're touching people, you never know.
Right.
And for me, I do it for the love. I do it because I don't like anyone hurting. I don't want you hurting. I don't want you struggling. I have cooked. I've got a basket by my door with extra socks and the gloves and all of this. And I've taken food. I've got plastic containers. Because I just
care.
I can't see you hungry or hurting. I've had cops that I've hugged and broke out in tears because they can't. And I'm like, you're safe. It's okay. Because do you know if a cop tries to get help, they will take their badge and gun like they're crazy. Yeah. No. And that's one of the things, even when I ran for Assemblywoman in 21, that's one of the things I wanted to put on the floor. A safe place. We want these officers to stop killing us, but we don't give them a place to decompress or, with all that they deal with. And I'm not talking about the macho ones that's just trying to take advantage. I'm talking about the ones who are really out here investing in the community. The stuff that they see hurts them and they don't know. What do we want? What do we want?
Yeah, we definitely need that safe space.
Right? And and that's one of the things that I press for.
I think it's just not just cops as well. Nurses have one of the highest suicide rates as well because they're being abused, they're being tormented, by their patients, and they can't say nothing, So if you do your research, actually nurses have the highest.
And just like how you said, I'm going to let you go real quick. Just like you said, it makes you feel good when you out about and people know of your work and they know what you do and just love how you care so much. Yeah. I want more people. It's people out there that got a story. It's people out there that can help. Absolutely. And they don't know how to go about it. Right. So I want them to feel that too. That's why I'm like, you know what? We got to inspire, influence, motivate people to want to do the same kind of work because they can. There's a lot of people that want to, but and some
don't know how. Some are scared. Like if I get out here And but that's the real work. Like when we go to these council meetings and you'll have the council president, people come down here with their stories and we about the city's business. The people are the city's business. What do you mean? Right. Like, and if you don't understand that, how are you in any seat? Mm-hmm. If you don't know that the people are the business, why are you in a seat? Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I'm already doing it. I understand that the people are the priority.
I love what you said earlier when you said we are the currency.
We are. We don't need money. People, oh, you need money. No, I just need the 98% of you to get off your rusty butts and vote.
Right.
If you vote, if the 98% of us get up and vote, we can have whatever we need. Get out of the wake up.
We can change this thing around.
How do you inspire more people to vote? Like,
you got to get on these platforms and get on social media. That right now, you could do as much as the signs, the flags. You need some type of platform.
Absolutely.
That's why you just got to be like real. How can I put it? Persistent, and you just got to go about it. Like
I'm in the streets having these conversations.
I couldn't just go on there on Instagram and stuff and just say we need to do this and that, because the algorithm is not pushing that. You got to be real, like you got
creative, like you did with Trayvon.
And push it.
I had to think of a character and show them. I had to put out what they think we are,
Absolutely.
Negative.
Absolutely.
So I showed them negative. The algorithm let's give them this. And then it's, we don't need to be doing this. So it kind of tricks it. So you got to just be creative, like you said. Creative.
And I have conversations, these kind of conversations everywhere I go. It doesn't matter. I'm in a grocery store. I'm in it's just, and I'm letting people know it's you. You are the dollar, the dime, the quarter, whatever it needs to make up that denomination. When you look at, I was told this one guy because he didn't vote and he didn't want to sign petitions. I told him, listen, man, let me tell you this to you. If you digging in the couch, you trying to find change to buy a loaf of bread, he said, or a blunt. I said, okay, that too. You need that dime or that penny, and he give me that. Let me sign it. You know what I mean? Because it makes sense. Mm-hmm. We are the currency. Don't let these people tell you need money. You are the money. Why do you think they're trying to trick you into doing what they want you to do?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because 98 is greater than 2%.
Absolutely.
Yep. You wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I think you guys could just close it out. We got about 3 minutes.
All right.
No, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, we have a lot of hurt people.
Yeah.
And hurt people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of mistrust.
Yes.
With politics and politicians. And a lot of people will say, well, how do I know you're any better than the last person who claimed, they were about the people, and now we see that they're not.
Absolutely.
So what is my vote going to do, by voting for her?
Right.
But here's the thing. You actively see what's going on. And we, the 98%, actually run this.
Yes.
But we don't believe that.
Right.
You could throw the numbers, they still won't believe it. Mm-hmm. The same people vote. And what the other side is doing is banking on the same people to vote.
Yep.
Because they already know that 98% isn't going to vote.
Right.
They don't care. They just want to show in front of you. Like the same thing with Georgia King Village. Yeah. You have all these seniors and people living in a building that's filthy. Right. And people will say, oh, because you're dirty. And it has nothing to do with them being dirty. It's the slumlords of that whole entire village.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what happens? They come
Didn't they rebuild
day
it?
in
Didn't
and
they
day
add
out.
on extra buildings or something like that?
They added new buildings.
Yeah.
And it didn't affect them. And the new buildings got rats already. You see what I'm saying? Already.
Exactly.
On the outside, the buildings look nice.
Absolutely.
On the outside, but what's going on the inside?
So this is what I want to say. I want everyone to tell someone. Not each one teach one. Each one teach 6. Tell somebody. You people, we people have got to realize we are the bosses of the cops. We are the bosses of these council people. We are the bosses of the mayor. They need to do what we say. We are their bosses. We pay their salaries. So stop acting like it's the other way around, because we've been in an abusive relationship with these administrators, right? And what happens? They knock you over there. Oh, baby, it's not going to happen again. Oh, just for you give me another chance. No. If it's abusive, cut it off. Mm-hmm. And move on to the next thing.
Look, like 1 minute left.
All right, 1 minute. Deborah Salters.
I was gonna ask you real quick. I'm pretty sure that if how can someone get in contact with you or
Yeah, give us your
Emily?
socials
Okay,
and everything.
so social media, wide open. Facebook, Deborah Salters for Newark. A Better Newark for All is IG. You can find me on my... where else can they find me?
It's right here.
Come on, campaign manager, come on.
For the people, here's the flyer. I'm running for Congress, District 10.
Yes.
Essex County 10J,
Let's
Hudson County
support.
4D, and Union County 5E.
And to get what you never had, you got to do what you never did. So let's make change.
Let's do it.
July 16th.
Surviving Newark, we are out.
Play the record, bro.
Got you, I got you. It's not there.
Yes, I enjoyed this.
It is not here at all.
I love you, Benji.
Capretta. Come here, let me talk to you. Just slow down for a second. You walking off fast. Like, let me say something. She know that she bad. She got her own bag. She know that she bad. She got her own bag. I need that. I need that. She know that she bad. She got her own bag. She know that she bad. She got her own bag. I need that. I need that. Look, how you doing? What's your name? Hold up. Are you single? Any kids? What's up? Give you love, friendship, and trust. I know this all sound like a lot, but what?